Simplifying surds. So a reminder that two surds multiplied together is the same as the square root or the root of that product. We can, and vice versa too, that if you have the square root of a product, you can write that as the square root of A times the square root of B. So for example, if we look at root 4 times root 9, there's two ways of doing this. We could say that's the square root of 4 times 9, which is the square root of 36, which is 6. Or square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3, and 2 times 3 is 6. So you can see we get the same answer either way. So when we're simplifying surds, we use this rule. We write the number under the surd as a multiplication, as a product of a perfect square and another factor. So find a perfect square factor, and just remember that your perfect squares, 1 squared is 1, obviously no help to us, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 16, 25. These are the perfect squares we're looking for. So square root of 12. Now I could write 12 as 6 times 2, but neither of those are perfect squares. 4 times 3 though has a perfect square of 4. Write your perfect square first. 4 times 3, or you could have written this as root 4 times root 3. Either of these would be fine, but you must show working. Then the square root of 4 is 2, and I'm left with root 3. Or of course we could go square root of 4 is 2 to root 3. Now your scientific calculators will do these. If you do the square root of 12, we'll get to root 3, and that's why I do need you to show working in an extension test. Otherwise, I assume you've just used your calculator. Good idea to use the calculator to check. 2 times root 18. I've got 2 times, represent 18 as root 9 times root 2. Put your perfect square first so that you remember where that goes. I've got 2 times 3 times root 2, so I've got 6 root 2. Just like simplifying anything else, if you accidentally take a smaller perfect square than the largest one that's a factor, you can simplify again. So square root of 32, if I looked at that and thought, oh well, that would be root 4 times root 8, then I'd get to root 8. But remember, you can always re-look at root 8 and say, actually 4 goes into that. That would be 2 times root 4 times root 2, giving me 2 times 2 is 4 root 2. So when you have to simplify by adding or subtracting, it's important to check that your surds could be like surds, that is, they could have the same number under the root sign, and while these don't look like surds, if we simplify them, they could turn out to be. Square root of 125, we can see that 25 goes into that. You cannot hop over here, or in this case, just double check with your calculator. 5 root 5. So this is 5 plus 5 root 5 minus 3 minus square root of 45. 3 root 5. So our surds are like surds, and these are like terms. 5 minus 3 is 2. 5 root 5 minus 3 root 5 is plus 2 root 5.